METS Ignited is the industry growth centre for mining equipment, technology and services. Australia's METS sector is a recognised world leader in innovation and technology, delivering the safety, environmental and productivity outcomes that sustain our global resources sector. The success of Australia's METS companies has created more highly skilled jobs and expanded the local economic contribution of Australia's leading technology sector.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Adrian. I'm the CEO of METS Ignited, and I'm here to talk to you today about the role of technology and innovation in the resources sector. METS Ignited, for those of you who don't know us, is one of the 6 industry growth centres that is funded by the Department of Industry, Science, Energy and Resources. And the role of the Industry Growth Centre initiative is to accelerate the commercialisation of innovation, to enhance industry skills and capabilities, and to grow exports in areas where Australia already has a proven competitive advantage. METS Ignited achieves this by providing collaborative project funding, working with technology companies and resources companies to collaborate around the challenges and the future needs of the resources sector. We support the development of clusters of accelerators, and we deliver masterclasses to enhance the industry skills and capabilities, particularly around commercialisation of innovation. We also sponsor industry associations and events like this one to help promote the various activities that are happening right across the ecosystem. The success of Australia's leading technology sector has created more highly skilled jobs and continues to expand the economic value generated by our global resources sector. This includes building our core strengths and our future skills in growing areas and capabilities such as data and analytics, in areas like robotics and automation, in managing the future energy needs of the sector, as well as expanding and growing on the existing skills and experience that sit within Australia's engineering sector. Australia has a long history of success, implementing technology to optimise and sustain the commercial viability of our primary industry sectors. While often it's cited as the sole driver of our prosperity, the abundance of natural resources that our nation is blessed with has not been the only contributing factor to Australia's wealth. It's also our ability to overcome the operational challenges and the willingness to adapt and apply technology to find a way to overcome the barriers of operating in such complex and remote locations in a safe and sustainable way. This is the DNA of Australia's resources sector, and it's this innovation that we want to harness and capture and help grow the local Australian economy. The experience we have in deploying automation and robotics, in using data and analytics, in the application of safe, sustainable and socially responsible methods of mineral extraction and resource recovery, as well as managing the complex energy needs of a highly remote and capital intensive industry sector, is one of the core skills that puts Australia ahead of the rest of the world in terms of capability. The Modern Manufacturing Initiative that was announced by the federal government is investing in the commercial local capability to support an innovative Australian business sector to commercialise our existing technologies within our national economy. It's going to provide us the scale and support we need to help those businesses grow, to export our world-leading technology capabilities, but convert them into products and services and supply them to multiple industries, not only here, but also globally. Success in this initiative will create a skills framework to support the industry needs. And we need to develop our vocational training. We need to support regional communities, and we need to bring those skills out into those regional areas in close proximity to those critical operations that are going to sustain the future economy for this country. Another area of focus for METS Ignited is the commercialisation of our innovative research sector. Often commercialisation is mistakenly used as a term to describe the technology in use within a commercial operating environment. But when you take commercialisation from a global perspective, the definition changes and is quite different. Commercialisation is really the process of monetising a product or a service or a solution. We're fortunate that we have a significant number of world-leading technologies that are already end market ready, that have been developed by our research sector and our technology sector in collaboration. Our goal is to deliver these commercial outcomes within Australia's local economy. And that's the key. For us, it's about making sure that we bring those technologies to market within the Australian economy, and we don't continue to lose our technology and innovation overseas and then have to buy it back as value-added products and services at a significantly higher cost, with also reducing the skills base within our local economy. The success of converting these innovations into products and services in Australia will deliver more jobs, will increase our skill base, and will provide local growth opportunities. And as I said before, these opportunities sit in our regional communities and in close proximity to our existing operations. We need to capitalise on the many years of experience that we have in our sector and turn those into new applications and technologies to address some of the big challenges facing many of our industries. The Australian technology sector has a host of research organisations, government funded and industry funded, that are targeting the development of solutions to overcome industry challenges as an input to the operational supply chains. The outcomes of these organisations are predominantly led by primary industry producers and the operators due to their substantial direct benefit from the technologies being applied into their operations. But rarely do we convert this technology input to our primary production value chains into products and services as an output of our local economy that we can scale and grow by exporting. So for us to convert this capability into GDP growth for our country, it's critical that we have a technology sector that has the capability to transform this innovation into products and service, to make sustainable commercial business models, and to facilitate the technology being developed in our primary industries and making it a sustainable commercial segment of the economy in its own right. And really, for Australia, this is a huge opportunity. I mean, we have a long history of success in implementing this technology to sustain these operations. So it's a fantastic proven capability that already exists in our marketplace. And just one, there's a range of examples between us at MetIgnited and our partner growth centre, NERA. What we're doing today is providing access to investment capital to help those small innovative technology companies who need that additional bit of funding to take their prototype or their first use technology and turn it into a scalable commercial product that they can then take out to multiple industry sectors. And one of the key benefits for us in the resources sector is many of the innovations that we've developed to manage the remote operations that happen within the resources industry are now in high demand by other industry sectors. There's a huge demand for the skills and capability and the technology that we've developed in areas like defence, in addressing the challenges in the energy sector around emissions, around particulate matter in underground mining. Converting vehicles to electric creates a whole platform capability that can be consumed by multiple other industry sectors who certainly have different industry needs, but certainly have the same technology requirements to address those future challenges. As an industry-led, government-funded support organisation, we provide a vehicle for industry investment to drive that local productisation and commercialisation of technology that has been traditionally developed within our research sector and funded by our primary industries. We play an almost honest broker role, if you will, that doesn't necessarily have a set of commercial objectives itself in terms of driving profit from each of the products, but marries up the innovators and the technology vendors with the industry needs. We have a good understanding with our industry capability of what the challenges are that are facing our end markets. And we have a very good understanding of the research capability that we have in this country. Really what we're looking for now is to bring a commercial vehicle to take the needs of the sector and the capabilities of our research industry, bringing them together and turning them into products and services that we can sell to multiple markets. Today we face a new world, and a new world has new challenges. And I guess, what do we mean by a new world? The impacts of things like COVID have really fundamentally changed the way we do business. I often get feedback that what we're talking about doing is nothing new and it's all been done before. But I think that really discounts just how far different technologies have advanced and the capabilities that we have to engage with a market that we've never had before. So as a consequence of the pandemic, for example, we are more connected now virtually than we have ever been before. And while there is no doubt that there is a difference in the way in which we engage, we are establishing a new type of relationship with peoples and companies that we've only dealt with virtually. And so while we've become better connected, ironically, we're also more isolated. The barriers around moving between borders or traveling internationally has also meant that we've needed to collaborate with local companies in proximity to the mining operations and the resource companies that need our innovation most. And by driving this collaboration, we're now bringing new perspectives from multiple different companies that have a different experience of what the industry needs are. And it's providing like a new lens to consider just how we solve some of the industry challenges. One of the other areas of opportunity that we are seeing in Australia is, well, it's really a combination of the priorities are much more clear for our resources companies. Now, the urgent versus important and the chasing shiny objects versus what's critical needs, it's really become very clear through the pandemic what's critical for the sustainability of the primary industries and really where their gaps are. We did a study with NERA in 2018, the Staying Ahead of the Game report, and we talked about the impact that automation technologies will have on the sector. And in that report, there's a slide in there that we did for the oil and gas sector and the mining sector. We talked about the impact today of technologies that have been developed to automate certain steps of a process. We had a window that was 2025, where we started to talk about the interoperability of different vendor technologies so that they can be stitched together in the value chain. And then we talked about 2030, when we saw a future of open platforms, the willingness to share data and to build systems with interoperability as a core requirement for the industry. What we're seeing as a consequence of the pandemic and the impact that it's had on our sector today is the 2025 timeframe, that's now. That's been accelerated to be an outcome that industry is looking for today. So it's really, I guess, a combination of a reduction of risk aversion amongst mining companies who, due to necessity and out of the need to maintain safety, protect their staff, but continue with their production priorities, there's a greater willingness for them to embrace these new technologies and implement them. So the barriers to adopting new technology have been lowered. We're also seeing the innovations that have been developed in these end user markets that were previously protected by IP or other means coming back into the sector for further development in the marketplace. If we look at the innovation around automation in particular in the mining sector, there is a lot of proprietary systems that drive auto haul fleets or automated trucks or autonomy through mining operations. But a lot of those innovations that were implemented nearly 20 years ago are still on the original version of software. They're still on the original platform. And one of the reasons why is because those technologies haven't been made available in a marketplace with competitors who rapidly advance the technology capability and look to compete on feature and function. But what we're now seeing is the mining companies that own a lot of that IP are sharing it back with the market. And they're doing it for two reasons. One, because they want to see that incremental improvement of technology in a competitive marketplace, because they'll be the customers of it, they'll be the beneficiaries of that innovation. But for them, more importantly, it's about the skills and capability that we grow within our sector. And it's that set of skills that they're going to need for the future of their mining operations and their future mining needs. As we look at things like the critical minerals roadmap, and Minister Pitt talked about this earlier, the mining technologies that we will need to extract in a commercially viable way, the critical minerals that we have in this country are very different technologies to those that we use for bulk commodities or base metals when we're digging up large volumes of high concentration of high quality material and export it overseas. Now we're looking at critical minerals roadmap, not only from what the minerals are, but what are the mining methods and what are the downstream processes? And how can we work together to value add on those commodities and turn them into products and services, again, within our local economy? We're seeing a greater collaboration between mining companies and vendors to make all of these technologies available so that we can address the future challenges and the future needs of our industry sector. So I hope that this provides some insight to why the technology sector for us is such an exciting place to be. The magnitude of change in our sector has been dramatic. but the opportunity is also significant. This is our opportunity to change our resources sector from being an output-based commodity market that drives economic growth to converting the technologies and innovation developed within our primary industries and create a technology sector in its own right. I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference, and there's a number of presentations that we're delivering throughout the course of IMARC. Please join us at the Mets Ignited virtual booth and have a look at some of the programs. Happy to take any questions, and please don't hesitate to get in touch. Thank you.